sixth graders. Today we are going to be learning about how to order percents, decimals, and fractions. In our last lesson, we were looking at how to compare percents, decimals, and fractions, and we learned that in order to compare them, we had to have the same representation or the same form. So if I had a fraction and a percent, I had to either make it a fraction and a fraction, or a percent and a percent, or a decimal and a decimal. I can't compare two things that are not the same. That concept and that idea from the last lesson in comparing is going to be carried over into today's lesson about ordering. So today we're going to learn how to order them from least to greatest by having percents, decimals, and fractions. So what does this mean? Well, you will be given something like this. It says to order 3%, 1/50th, 0.005 or 5 thousandths, because the 5 is in the thousandths place, 0.8%, ooh, that one's fancy, and let's see, what's the other one? It says, and 25 thousandths. Okay, from least to greatest. Oh, they want us to do it from least to greatest. Okay, our job is to first decide how do we want to order these. Do we want to just turn all of them into percentages, or do we want to make them all decimals? Do we want to create all fractions out of 100? Well, I don't have a single fraction out of 100, so I don't want to do that. And I know that this is a percentage and this is a percentage, and for me, looking at percents is really easy. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose percentages. If you prefer decimals, go for decimals. If you prefer fractions, go for fractions. It's your choice and your preference, as long as everything is in the same form. So I'm going to start with 3%. Well, 3% is equal to 3%. I didn't have to convert anything because it's already as a percentage. So that one is done. 1/50th. Okay, so 1/50th. Let's look at 1/50th. 1/50th. In order to make it into a percent, I have to have a denominator of 100. So I'm going to do my converting right now. 1/50th times something will get me to 100. So 50 times 2 equals 100. So if I multiply by 2 on the bottom, I also am going to multiply by 2 on the top. 1 times 2 is 2. This is equal to 2%. So now 1/50th has been converted into a percentage. All right, the next one. Look at this one. This is 5 thousandths. All right, so we need to convert this 5 thousandths into a percentage. So 5 thousandths into a percentage. So my first step is going to be to make a fraction. And because it's in the thousandths place, so tenths, hundredths, thousandths, I'm going to put 5 over 1,000. So this is the same as saying 5 thousandths. Well, I know that in order to make a percentage, it has to be out of 100. So I'm still making a common denominator of 100, but in order to get 10 to or in order to get 1,000 to 100, I have to divide by 10. Divide by 10. All right. So 1,000 divided by 10 equals 100. And 5 divided by 10 is a half. It's a half. So this equals half of a percent. So not even 1 whole percent. So this one equals half of a percent. All right, I am done with 5 thousandths. All right, the next one is 0.8%. This one's is a decimal, but it's just like this. Because it has a percent sign attached to it, I don't have to do anything because it's already a percent. So this is 0.8% or 0.8 of a percent. This one's 0.5 of a percent. This one is 0.8 of a percent. Both of them are not quite 1 whole percent. Done with that one. That one was super easy to convert. I didn't have to do anything. All right, the last one is 25 thousandths. Again, it's in the thousandths place. So because it's in the thousandths place, I'm going to write it over 1,000. Now, I'm going to have to make this into a fraction that I know, which is 25 thousandths. And again, always over 100. How do I get it over 100? Well, like up here, I had to divide by 10. So here, I'm going to divide by 10 again. And divide by 10. That gives me 100. And this one gives me 2.5. Because if I do 25 divided by 10, it goes in 2 times, right? Which is 20. This 5 becomes a 50, and that is 5. So 2.5 or 2.5%. So again, I have another percentage. All right, now everything is in percentages. 3%, 2%, 5%, 0.8%, and 2.5. Now it's my job to put these in order from least to greatest. So the smallest percent that I have is 0.5%. That is my smallest percentage. So 0.5%, or I could write it as 0.005. That's the smallest one. So I'm just going to put it underneath like this. Okay, the next one that I have is, so this one's done, 0.8. Because remember I said that 0.8 was like the 0.5%. And 0.8% came to me as 0.8%. That one's done. Okay, now which one is next in the smallest line? Well, 2 is next. 2.5, I would have to go to the 2 and then 0.5% over in order to get there. So the one that we should choose first is 2% because it comes before 2.5. So we're going to write 2%, and 2% was listed as 1 out of 50. So we can go ahead and check this one off because we have it listed. All right, the next one then in the list is 2.5 because it's 0.5 point more than 2, but 0.5 point less than 3. So we're going to go ahead and put 2.5% or 2.5%, and that one was listed as 25 thousandths. So underneath, we're going to write 25 thousandths. Okay, last. Is it the last one? We're going to cross this guy off. It's done. The last one was the easy peasy one. It was 3%. And now it's listed as 3% is what it started with. So we have managed to put these in order from least all the way up to greatest. All right, sixth graders, I'm going to turn my page right now so that way I can do a try it on the next page because I used up all my space. So let's go ahead and get ready for a try it. All right, your try it for today. So the try it for today is put these in order from least to greatest. So from least to greatest, we have 3/10 and we have 15%. Next, we have 2/10, and then we have 9/100. And last but not least, we have, what is that last number? Oh, 10%. Okay, so go ahead and put these in order from least to greatest. And when you are done, go ahead and hit play so you can check your work. All right, so remember the first step was to check if it's all in the same format. It's not all in the same format, so we're going to convert these all to percentages or fractions, your choice, or decimals, whichever you prefer. So 3/10 is my first one. 3/10 is equal to 3/10 times 10 so that I can get to 100 times 10 so that I can get to 30, and that gives me 30%. So this one is done. The next one that I have is 15%. 15% is equal to 15%. I love those easy ones. You can go ahead and cross off 15%. All right, our next one, number 3, it says 0.2 or 2/10. So we know that 0.2 is equal to 2/10. So we want to get this to be out of 100 so we can make a percentage. We're going to multiply by 10 and multiply by 10, and that gives us 20. 20/100 is 20%. Cross that one off. We're done with it. 0.09. 0.09 is the same as saying 9/100 because it's in the hundredths place. 9/100 is the same as 9%. And then cross it off. Last but not least, 10%. And 10% is equal to 10%. Okay, so now that we've converted all of these, we're going to go and put them in order from least to greatest. So there's a lot of steps, I know, but this is how it works. So now we're going to put these in order from least to greatest. My smallest number, let's circle them all so we don't miss any. Okay, my smallest number that I have is 9%. Check. Then it goes 10%. Check. 15%. 20%. And last but not least is 30%. So when you put these into big ideas, they're probably going to want you to put the number that it started with. So just make sure that you line it up. So 0.09, 10% was 10%, 15% is 15%, 20% was 2/10. And last but not least, 30% was 3/10. I will mark it right if you put it in all in one format, so don't worry about that part. Okay, 6th graders, it is your turn now to answer your essential question. How do we order percents, decimals, and fractions? Like, what's the key idea? And then put your answer in the box, how you're feeling about this, and head on over to Big Ideas to do your practice work. As always, I appreciate all of your hard work and determination, and make it a great day the Cougar way.